Welcome to Beta by the Numbers. I'm FM Tahiti. Thank you for joining me here. In this episode, we're going to be playing our first cup final of FM20. Just going to be a bit quicker than we thought it would do, but it's in the Steel and Sons Cup Clash. There's a cup that's sponsored by, or was sponsored by, a jewellery company in Belfast about a century or so ago. And it's mainly for teams in and around Belfast, I think the Antrim area as well. I could be completely wrong. That could be the wrong area entirely, but I'm pretty sure that's what it's for. And we managed to sneak our way through into the final. In fact, it wasn't actually that tricky. If we look at the schedule for it, it is a tree. So where are we? So we kind of snuck through here. We beat Larne 3-0, beat Malachines 3-0, beat Moyola Park 5-2, beat Bangor 2-1, and here we are. Nice and simple. And it's come at a good time because our form is rubbish in the league. 2 back-to-back 1-0 losses. It has been... I have to go back to the start of October for our last win in the league. Couple of draws, so we could do with sorting things out, really getting back on track. So we've got the cup to go through. Before we I'll mention this, so we've got a few changes to the tactics to look at. So I know I made tactical changes last match, but I noticed something. I had a bit of a think in the last match, but I'll talk more about that in a second. But anyway, here's the build-up. We've got a historic Steel and Sons Cup final for Belfast Celtic. Obviously, the original Belfast Celtic has played in plenty of these finals. So you go to past winners. You go all the way back down there. Belfast Celtic reserves, because they were a Premiership side, so they didn't play in it directly. Won it years and years ago. But we're obviously just sports and leisure football club in disguise. So it's a historic one for us. For some reason, we're playing at Windsor Park, I think it is, which is the Northern Ireland National Stadium. I think Linfield Swifts or Linfield play there as well. I don't think it should actually be played there. I think historically it's played at the Crusaders ground. But yeah, I'll report that as a data issue and then move on for this one. We might get more in the way of tickets and things like that. Monumental challenge, yeah. Absolutely yes, we want to win it. Yeah, they were probably the biggest team we had to play Moyola Park. We are going to make some changes, so I'm going to be coy on that one. I'll say this, but that's not what we're going to do. We're going to be less gung-ho. The whole team's aware of what's required. Just try and get under his skin by saying it's more important than he's letting on. We're going to win this game, I know it. We're not going to win it, are we? Yeah, Tobermore's going to drive us on. Tobermore was actually a really useful loss. We lost 1-0 against them in the last match off camera, but actually, I think that's going to help us in the long run. I want to win. I want to win with style. Touch and go, I don't think he's going to be back in time. I'm going to say there's some interest, but I honestly couldn't care less. I'll speak to him if necessary. It's a lot of questions, isn't it? It is a cup final, I guess. Strong understanding. 25 is normally what it takes. Yeah, it's not going to take that much. So we'll have the match in a couple of days because it's on Christmas Day. I've been looking at trying to bring in a few players. I should probably mention as well. So I actually sent my scouts out, but what I did was in this Steels and Sons Cup and some of the other cups, there are some teams that are non-league or they play in the sort of Northern Irish 4th tier, which is a collection of different tiers, one of them being the kind of Ballymena tier. So I've been going through some of those clubs by just going to go to a Northern Irish player, go to Northern Ireland, view all clubs. If you want, you can sort on division or you can sort on reputation. It's sorted on reputation. We can see Donegal Celtic, quite a high rep team. Click on them, see who they've got. And a lot of them do have some players, and then scout these players. And actually I found a couple who might be good enough, but I'll see how we do this season and hopefully see if our kind of rep takes a bit of a bump, and we can. There's lots to potentially look at. Some of them which are too far down and they won't have anyone in, but there are some that do have a reasonable amount. And there's whether they want to come to us or not is a different matter entirely. Our reputation is not the greatest, but it's better than some in the championship apparently. But we've been looking at that, and there's been a couple who would fit into the team quite nicely. But we just have to wait and see if they'll want to come to us later on. So 1,548 tickets sold out of the capacity of 18 grand. Let's have a quick look at the finances. So we've only got 14 grand in the bank. Any ticket sales from this would be particularly good. Do we get any money for this? The winner gets 10 grand. That's useful. That is a useful amount of money actually at this level. So, one change you might have noticed already is Arbuthnot's coming on. I did the kind of Duff Cowan swap around for the last two games. Duff was okay, Cowan was kind of absent. I don't want to bring Jordan in, so Arbuthnot's going to come on and Stephen Duff can try from the bench. Gary Warwick's just not ready. He's a couple of days away from being ready. He's too important for the rest of our season for me to just ruin him in this match, so leave that. The other change we've gone for is the mentality. So before we were on attacking. And that's partly because of a bias I had. So automatically when you do Route 1, it sets it to cautious. And cautious is actually, I think, what we need currently. So in FM19, I started off with a Route 1 hoofball tactic that was cautious. And then a few seasons into my Tahiti game, my team got quite successful and started to challenge for the title. And then I had one really bad season where we just couldn't perform. Even though the players were getting better, we just messed it up completely. By the time I worked out what was wrong, it was already Christmas and the season was kind of over. At that point, we were just making sure we didn't get relegated at that stage. And the reason was because our reputation had changed. The way teams approached us had changed a bit. So we'd gone from being an underdog to being one of the favourites to our performances. So when you're an underdog, teams are more likely to attack you. They're more likely to come at you, which then means they have space behind them. So if you're cautious and they're attacking you and they've got space behind them, you can hit them on the break and put the ball over the top, which is why it's the default for Route 1. I made a massive mistake. Even though we've had some good results, I made a massive mistake in changing that. So we'll go back to cautious for the moment, and then eventually when we get good enough and teams start to set up sort of defensively set up against us by parking the bus, then we can move to the attacking where we get more movement and we force the issue a bit more. But I think cautious is what we're going to need for the moment. So that's why we've made the change. I could be completely wrong, it might not work. But let's see. I'm glad I brought Darragh Murphy back as well. He's been playing well in the last couple of matches. A lot of key headers been getting. So they're going for an interesting 5-3-2 setup, and we've got a standard boring 4-4-2. Special day for the supporters or end your poor run? Deserve to win. No one cares. No one actually cares. Apparently they're the best defence. We have beaten them in the league. Windsor Park, quite a nice big stadium. Yeah, those are the kind of Linfield colours, I think. The yellow and blue. But yeah, we've beaten Ballyclare before. We can do it again. Even if they have got a really good defence, and ours is a little bit rubbish. Go on, Clark. Hines going a bit longer. Lynch not tall enough to do anything about that. Come on, there we go. Just got some space in front of him. Oh, not quite what we wanted. Arbuthnot gets a shot away rather than passing it back, which I think is what Duff would have done. Go on, Gibbons. Just can't kick it far enough, can he? Oh, that was a bad missed header. I'm sure we managed to clear that up, but some nerves maybe. concentrate. That was a bit of a reckless tackle as well. Got away with that one. Come on. Just clear it. And then settle down. Come on, this must be our highlight then. Just a random shot we got to see. My shout's not really done anything to them. They're relatively composed. They are starting to get ahead of us. We can always go to attacking. If we're not, if this cautious to sort of setup doesn't work, we can move things around. But if we can get them to attack us for a bit and eventually hit them, get them to tire themselves out as well whilst they attack us. Okay, interesting. Not quite what we wanted. Oh, they've broken our defensive line there. Good save by Gibbons. I love the fact that Ballyclare's full name is the Ballyclare Comrades. And they play in red. They are doing better than us. It's not the most sort of attacking and entertaining display we've put on. Oh, outpaced again. Gibbons is doing alright in net. Okay, if we keep it 0-0 till about the 70th minute, then we might go attacking, but that's a way away currently. Okay, made it to half time despite them absolutely pummeling us. Be passionate. Grab a goal, they don't care. What if our assistant does something? They don't care about him either. Okay, any big changes we want to look at? No, everyone's relatively fit and happy. I can't see any particular weak links. Gareth Clark could be replaced by Jamil. We'll give it a little bit of time before we do that one. Jamil does have that track record of scoring on goals. Clark, go along. And that's it, highlights done. Thanks. Thanks for that, FM. Would really be a bit of a smash and grab win as it stands if we got anything from it. I'm happy with that though, I will take that. Still counts as a win. Just no let up from this pressure, is there? Just after the 60th minute, I'm going to make a couple of changes, I think. Ooh, good, yeah, reasonably good save. I can't, I've got to do it now. I'm going to bring Jamil on. Because Gareth Clark, although good, is what, 17? 16, okay. That will be change number 1. Actually, no. Let's go to the tactics one, because we can do everything we want there. Jamil on for Clark. And then we're going to go... attacking. I was briefly considering some kind of positive version, but the description's not quite what we want. Oop, long ball. Arbuthnot's just not going to get that one, that was too long. Gone Clark, last opportunity. Hughes, not bad. That was, I think, our best opportunity we've had all match. It's taken an hour for us to just force a corner. The issue with going attacking is they were already attacking us quite well. Could leave us a bit more vulnerable, but We were just inviting too many chances on. Oh, really? Penalty? Come on, save it, Gibbons. Be the hero we know you can be. Saved. What a man. We parade in his honour at some point. We win this. Unless if we lose, no one will care. Hughes, keep hold of this. Dickinson was it's a bit of a waste of a counter-attacking opportunity, to be honest. Right, 2 more subs. McManus on for some fresh legs on the right, and Duff on for Arbuthnot, who's been absolutely anonymous. The only thing I really remember him doing is not running fast enough to get a long ball. They're uninterested, they're not. This is the time to strike. Long ball by Jamil. Duff also not fast enough for that. Lynch switching it to McManus. Get back in. Oh. Again, more promising than anything we've done in the past. Tully is good, he's really causing us problems. Gibbons. Just give him all the medals for the winners and the runner-up. His performance. 20 shots to our 8. It's time to steal a goal. We need this. We need the win to try and kickstart our form again. Come on. Dig in, everyone. Now they're happier. I think at half-time and extra time, though, I will go back to cautious. If he's still 0-0, just because I'd rather chance it with penalties with Gibbons on the form that he is. Come on, Mullihan, get it in. I wish they'd just crossed it in. Lynch, do something. Okay, back to Lynch. Back across McManus. Seems really unnecessary. Hughes! Instantly, let's go back to cautious. This is so undeserved. So they just kept switching it from flank to flank for a little bit. There he is. And that's why you can't drop him. Because every other striker we've got is rubbish. And wouldn't have scored that. Yes, make that change. Real temptation to not just do cautious, but to go to defensive. What's the description? Oops. That didn't last long, did it? Committed to cautious now. I mean, look at that man on the post doing absolutely nothing. Encourage him. I don't even think we'd gone to cautious then. We put it in, but it hadn't happened until afterwards. Okay, go on, McManus. Go long, maybe? Any of you go long? Mulland can rely on him to go long. Good tackle in the rain. The pitch is getting a little bit cut up now. I do like that as a change on FM20. Oh, they've got us, haven't they? Yeah. I mean, I didn't think it was going to come from that, but very attacking. Actually, I don't think we're going to actually sneak anything in this time. Close-ish. Unnecessary again. Could have got a bit closer with that. Go on, Duff. On target. It's really painful to watch now. It's been a long and painful match. We are done. This is it. Our first final and our first loss in a final. We have to watch them celebrate. Well, we tried. A little bit better in the end than it actually was. But to be fair, we were never really in that game. We were going to steal it. I'm not happy with it there. Look at all those goals. 99, 100, 107. Briefly, for a minute, it was in our hands. So we don't get that 10 grand either. Hot dogs acted with good intentions. Yeah, maybe. Had to pay out £375. We didn't even get anything for that. Did we make about 3 grand in gate receipts? A bit more than that. Right. Yep. Bit of a kick in the teeth. Don't want to discuss it further because we didn't deserve to win it, so I'm not going to lie to them. All the heads high that we got there, I think. I'm not discussing individuals. We are the overachievers there. At least we've proven we can get to one of these kind of finals. Competition-wise, we are still in the Northern Irish Cup. The only thing we've got left plus the league. I don't think we're going to get past Newington. I don't think we're going to win this cup. If you win this cup, you qualify for the Euro Cup 2, which I forgot was even a thing. But yeah, I don't think we'll be winning that anyway. But we will end there with disappointment. We've managed to hoofball our way up to a final. I don't entirely know whether this kind of cautious tactic is working, but we're going to try it out in the next few games. We can always move back to a variation of it, but it's all these little tweaks based on the feedback from the matches we need. The Turbo match beforehand made it look like we needed to get that space behind them, and then against Ballyclare, they just outplayed us completely. They are one of the strongest sides in the division now, even though we've beaten them in the past, but it just wasn't to be. But there'll be plenty more cup opportunities in the future, I think. Thanks for watching.